It is time for the Week 3 matchup analysis, breakdown, and prediction video of the Detroit Lions versus the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get this thing going. If you could do me a favor and smash that like button, love to get to 500 likes in this video. Chat Sports is challenging me to get to 500, so let's try and make that happen. The Detroit Lions here are favored by 4 points at home September 24th, 1 p.m. versus the Atlanta Falcons, who are underdogs at 4 points. The total over and under is 46.5. When you see these two teams match up, you have the Detroit Lions with a record of 1-1. Their scoring offense is good at 26 points per game. That's 10th best in the National Football League. Scoring defense, not so good. They're allowing 28.5 points. That's 28th worst in the National Football League. Atlanta Falcons, they're undefeated at 2-0. Pretty good there. Scoring offense, 24.5. That's 14th best in the NFL. And scoring defense, they're only allowing 17 points per game. 8th best in the National Football League. But it's not just about points, it's also about injuries, and the Detroit Lions got a ton of injuries. Taylor Decker is questionable to be playing in this game. It didn't seem and sound good when Dan Campbell talked the other day. Emmanuel Mosley questionable as well, not looking good for him. Big V questionable, but I would have to probably say it's more likely out. David Montgomery will be out. C.J. Gardner-Johnson just got injured and could be done for the season. James Houston's not going to be in this game as he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. That is rough for our beloved Detroit Lions. If you look at the Atlanta Falcons here, Troy Anderson, linebacker, out. Jeffrey Okudah, we're very familiar with him, is out. Cordero Patterson out. Josh Alley, wide receiver, out. And Javon Gwynn out as well. So there's injuries on both teams, but the Lions, they definitely took a savage of injuries for big-time players for a football team. What is your prediction for this game? Put the score prediction in the comments below. I want to know who you think wins this game. Hey, go ahead and do why. Go ahead and throw that in the comments. Let's get this thing started. The matchup here, you got the Detroit Lions offense going against the Atlanta Falcons defense. Like I said before, points per game is 26. That's 10th in the NFL. Total yards per game, the Detroit Lions are doing a phenomenal job at 283.0. It's 3rd in the NFL. Passing yards, another phenomenal job, 393. 4th in the NFL. Rushing yards per game is 110. That's 14th in the NFL. But the big number here is the turnovers. The Lions are -3. That's 27th worst in the National Football League. The Atlanta Falcons defense is really good. Points allowed per game, 17. That's 8th in the NFL. Yards allowed per game, only 252.5. 3rd in the NFL. I'll take this one to be an even matchup with the yards allowed. Passing yards, they're 2nd best in the NFL. I'm going to take the over. I think the Lions will get more than 133.5. And rushing yards, I'll actually probably take the under here, and they're decent at it, 119. And they're not really. They're kind of like the back third of rushing. But their turnovers is damn good. They are +2. That's 8th in the National Football League. But we have to look at some of the players in the Atlanta Falcons defense, and one is Lorenzo Carter, their linebacker. Right now he's got 3 solo tackles, a total of 3, and he's got 1 sack on the season. So he's a guy that we got to watch for, and there's other players that the Lions must pay attention to, not just Lorenzo Carter, but Caden Ellis has a sack. Troy Anderson has 0.5 sacks. Grady Jarrett, 0.5, and we all know Calais Campbell is a good veteran on that football team that's going to help them throughout the season. It's someone like the offensive line got to watch for, and some of our players that, like Jared Goff, just keep a keen eye for this guy because he still is a good player. When I look at this matchup, man, it's a very close matchup between these two, between the Lions offense and the Atlanta Falcons defense. Their defense is good, really good. And that's a reason why they're 2-0. And the Lions cannot take this defense lightly at all. I know the Lions offense is really good and we can put up points, but it's a match. And defenses travel. That is something that does happen. And we just lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I know that Atlanta Falcons right now, there are people saying they're not really as good as their 2-0 record, but at the end of the day, they're 2-0. That's the only thing that matters for that football team. There's no asterisk to it. They're 2-0. They won the games. And the Detroit Lions are 1-1. So the Lions offense has got to be sound here. I think getting the run game going would be smart with some play action like we've been doing. Ben Johnson is a guru, so I do trust that he knows exactly what he's doing. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the pinned comment for this video. What is your score prediction? Place it in the comments, folks. If you got the Lions winning, then go ahead and put Lions in the score. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you tired of wasting and overpaying money for sports tickets? Well, you need to get Game Time. Game Time has killer deals with last-minute tickets, best prices guaranteed, and you can stop stressing on buying tickets and just start having fun and getting hyped for the games. It is easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, whether that's sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. With their lowest prices guaranteed, it is the Game Time guaranteed, which means you always get the best prices, even if you find tickets in the same section that are an hour less. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. And if you look in this middle section of the screenshot, I think it's a fantastic feature of this app. It shows you where your seat is, and you move your phone left or right, and you can see the surrounding area kind of like a 3D live photo. So go ahead and download Game Time app. You create an account, and you put in the code LIONSCHAT for $20 off of your first purchase. Folks, you can use the redeem code in the redeem code section. You put in Lions Chat and you sign up with an email. It's very simple, just like that. Terms do apply. Create an account, put in the redeem code section, Lions Chat for $20 off. That link is going to be in the comment section and the description of this video. If you're buying Lions tickets this year, make sure you're using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Let's go ahead and get into the Detroit Lions defense versus the Atlanta Falcons offense. This is a difference here. Points allowed per game for the Lions defense is 28.5. That's 28th best in the National Football League. Not good. Yards allowed per game is 354.5. 22nd in the NFL. Not good. Passing yards per game is 268.5. 26th in the NFL. That is not good, but their rushing yards per game is they're only allowing 86. That's 10th in the National Football League. Points per game for the offense of Atlanta is 24.5. That's 14th. Total yards per game is 333.5. Middle of the pack at 15. Passing yards per game, they're not good at 163.0. 28th in the NFL. So I think that they're going to get more than that in this game because the Lions' pass defense is not that great. But this is interesting because the rushing yards per game for Atlanta is 170.5. That's 4th in the NFL. So their strength is the Lions' strength. So their strength is run, and the Lions' strength on defense is run defense. So this is going to be intriguing how this comes in here. And we look at their quarterback, Desmond Ridder. He has completed 34 passes out of 50 attempts, 352 yards with 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So he's not doing a whole lot for that football team. He's not. And we look at their wins that they did get. Week 1, they defeated the Carolina Panthers, who just lost last night, 24-10, and they beat the Detroit Lions rival Green Bay Packers 25-24. So, look, they beat Green Bay, and that's a team that is 1-1, and we kind of match up similar. I think we're a little bit better in Green Bay, but it's damn close. What are to watch for keys to victory? We need to stop the run game. It is clear that Bijan Robinson is a weapon, and they love to run the football. They're the fourth best in the National Football League. If you want to win this game, you got to stop the run. If you don't stop the run, the Lions lose this game. It's plain and simple. It's not hard to do. So continue to do what we have been doing. Stop that run. We need to get Jahamyr Gibbs running the football. David Montgomery was out. He's going to be out due to the thigh bruise. We need to run the football and be effective. And it's not just on the edges. We need to be we need to be effective in the middle, running down the middle as well. And that's something that Jahamyr Gibbs struggled with last week. Obviously, it doesn't help when your offensive line are hurt. We need to pressure Desmond Ridder. We have 1 sack in 2 games by Alex Anzalone. Unacceptable. This defensive line is going against a top 10 offensive line in Atlanta. We have to get pressure. No more can we just allow quarterbacks stand in the pocket. You do that, any quarterback's going to beat you up, even Desmond Ridder. You got to sack him. Get pressure, for goodness sake. Turnovers. We're -3. They're +2. We cannot turn the football over on ourselves and give it back to Atlanta. They'll win the game if we do that. They're 2-0. We lost the game last week due to considerably amount of fumbles in an interception. Stop it and get turnovers on the other team. We need to play sound football. What do I mean by that? We need to tackle. All right, the tackles were rough last week. We need to tackle in this game. Play fundamental football here. It's not that hard. My prediction for this game, this is a difficult one for me. I do have the Lions winning 28-25. I'm not going to bet with the betting lines because it has the Lions favored of 4. I think this is going to be a really close game. I think these teams match up well. The Lions are at home. That's why I'm giving them the victory on this one. Folks, you can find me on Facebook at Mike Kimber, on Twitter X, Mike Kimber, and on Instagram, which I really don't use that much, Mike Kimber as well. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Okay, folks? We got to hit that notification bell, and so you don't miss on the latest Lions news and rumors. Adios.